the next question from the chat is, did you personally start any internships in high school or did you start in college?
So I started in high school. After my sophomore year of high school, during my sophomore year, I applied to this research academy at the University of Pittsburgh. And I got into that academy, and this is where I kind of got my first exposure to coding. Because so this was it was run by the Cancer Institute, but they had many different subgroups, and they're still like a thing now, so you can apply. And of all of those sub programs, I got accepted into the computational bioinformatics program, and so that was my first like internship kind of experience over the summer. And so that's when I started getting my feet wet in research and coding and kind of figuring all of that out. Sorry. And so after that, I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like I got interested in computers. I knew nothing. So then the year after that, I kind of followed up and I wanted to do more research, but I wanted to stay closer to home. And so I kind of used the contacts from the summer academy to help me get an internship with Duke. And so I kind of reached out to different PIs. PIs are principal investigators. They're professors who are in charge of their own research labs. And so you kind of reach out to them, and I kind of started a research project with them, and that went far enough that I was able to present at a national conference, both my work and help them present their work. And so that was kind of like my internships experience in high school. And then this kind of gave me a good footing for college when I was looking for research opportunities. Like, look, I already have this research experience. I have experience presenting. And so kind of reached out to different labs in college and continued that research experience throughout the year. Over the summers, I actually did not do anything medical for my 4 summer programs in college, or 3 summer programs in college, mainly because I was a Moorhead Kane scholar. And so we have internship opportunities that we can do through the scholarship program. And so one year I did more of like a businessy consulting type internship where I went with a team of 3 other students, and we kind of looked at digital equity in Chattanooga. And so we were doing like a big scale research project where we were looking at what communities have access to technology, what communities don't. Another summer, I did a volunteering summer where I went to India and worked in a deaf orphanage. And so like spent my summer volunteering there. And my last summer, I did a research project on a personal hobby of mine, which is dance. I've been dancing since I was 3 years old. And so I kind of looked at how is Indian classical dance different in the US than it was in India. And so you don't have to only do things that are medical related if you're interested in medicine. It's the overall experience. And I see things about like, what can you get like started, right? Because this is what you really want to know, right? Like, what do you do now to set yourself up well? I think what you guys should be doing is expose yourself, but also do what you're passionate about. If there's something that you're very interested in now, follow it. See how can you get more involved? How can you give back to the community through that passion, whether it be music, art, math, science, anything. And so that's kind of how that experience went for me.
And some people were wondering if 5 clubs is a lot or too little, or is having too many clubs bad. So can you talk about what types of clubs did you do first off in high school? I feel like you addressed it before, but just to re-engage. And how many clubs do you recommend taking? What types of clubs do you recommend taking? And so what are some other things that we as high schoolers can do right now to get a jump start into college? What are some clubs that would be useful? And if you have any like specific programs or internship locations, like you mentioned before, your work at the University of Pittsburgh, if you want to just go over that as well.
Sure. So you're not going to like this answer, but there's no number that I can tell you that this is the perfect number of clubs. Like less than this is too less and more than this is too many. Because that's individual to you, right? You need to be involved. Like 0 is not going to work. But that doesn't mean like you have to be involved only in school clubs. It can be things that you do in your community, things that you do outside of school. You have to be involved in something. thing other than just like going to school, coming home. But like how many, that's really up to you. And I would caution you against getting involved in so many things that all you're able to do is attend a meeting and then go home, because that's not adding any value, right? So what you want to see is when I'm investing my time in a club, or when I'm investing my time in my activity, am I doing something of value? Am I either gaining value or am I giving value, right? And that's something that you need to ask. And when it comes and so college apps, they like to see leadership. They like to see community engagement. That doesn't mean you put the title next to your name, right? Calling yourself president means nothing if you're not doing anything to actively lead the club. And not having that title doesn't mean you're not a leader if you're the one who is bringing opportunities to the group. You're the one who is encouraging the group and making sure that everything sticks and works together. So that's what they're concerned about. And so when you write when you start listing all of your things that you do on your college apps and even med school apps, they'll give you space to talk about why is this an activity that you choose to do, and what do you do in this activity. And so that's what they see. They don't really care about your title. They care about how do you act in that club. How are you engaged with this group of people, and why do you care? So as long as you can kind of list that out for yourself and you're able to do what you do well, then the number of clubs you have is fine. And that's the most important. What did I do? So when I was in high school, I started a neuroscience club. I was heavily involved with Science Bowl all 4 years, and I ended up co-captaining for my last 3 years. And then school-wise, I helped. I was involved with Beta Club and National Honor Society with volunteering. I decided not to do Key Club because of the requirement for the number of hours and the specific breakdown of events that you had to go to, and I just decided that I didn't have time to deal with that. Outside of school, I was involved with Cary Teen Council and dance. Dance was a huge part of my life. Music. So I'm also a singer, and so I was going to dance classes, music classes. I was helping teach dance. I was involved in orchestra. I was involved in the community orchestra for a couple years.
How do you present
and
all this? What is the proof?
Yeah, that was kind of it. I was like I said, I was preparing for the Brain Bee, doing research with continuing with my research from Duke, things like that. So nothing crazy. I was busy. I had things going on every day, and there were things that if I go to dance, that means I have to come home and practice throughout the week. I can't just show up for class. So there were things that took up my time, but nothing too intense.